So if you are someone who does not like talking about the business side of wrestling, well, you've come to the right place, because I don't know a thing about that. This is all an idiot's guide to what's going on with Warner Brothers and AEW. So yeah, tag along for the ride. Hello and welcome to FTTR, I am Hugh McQuaid, and today we are talking about business. Big corporate business, just what you want to hear me talk about, and how this relates to AEW going forward, because Warner Brothers is for sale. But before we dive into that, please subscribe, please like this video, please comment your thoughts down below. I'll try to reply to every single one of them as we dive into this, starting with the news that broke. So it broke recently. Warner Brothers put out there themselves that they are looking to sell. They are looking to sell their huge conglomerate. That includes a lot of stuff. DC, you've got film studios, TV channels, and the TV channel that AEW operates on in the US is owned by Warner Brothers, which is TBS. So that right there is what is causing some of the sort of discourse of AEW's dead, AEW's going, because when they sell, they're going to get rid of it off their channels. And you know what? We're going to have to pull back a little bit. We're going to pull back a little bit on that, and we'll talk about that in a few moments. Before we do, I just want to talk about this overall as a whole. I think it's bad. I think any sort of big media conglomerate getting access to another big media conglomerate and merging them all has resulted in, stagnation. I think we can look at the Disney acquisition of Lucasfilm and see that turned out bad, because now we've got just everything under the Disney umbrella. You can look to the gaming side, and I think we can all sort of agree that the Activision acquisition by Xbox has not gone over very well either, because what are they doing over there? And you look at some of these mergers that have happened, you don't really have, it's not best for the consumer. We're getting closer and closer towards that monopoly that we don't really want in entertainment, because then all entertainment becomes stagnated, all entertainment becomes very similar, very samey. That's what we found with the Disney acquisition of Lucasfilm. All Star Wars stuff seems the same now, and it doesn't seem like we're getting out of that funk. All Marvel stuff seems the same now as well, so they're all sort of in this malaise. So I think that's why with Warner Brothers, I've really liked a lot of the stuff they have done creatively recently, because the prime example to go to is the DC Universe. James Gunn is taking over that. His Superman film, I really like the tone of, but you also get things like, you get the Penguin, you get the Batman with Robert Pattinson, you get all these sort of Elseworld stuff, and it's variety, it's a sense of variety. WB looking to sell is troubling for that reason, because you have these creative visions in place, and who knows what the new owners will want to do. They might want to scrap Superman and all of James Gunn's stuff. They might want to scrap any plans for future Sinners films or something like that. All these things that have been put in place could just be wiped from the slate, depending on what the new owners want to do. That's very unlikely, because why would you start from scratch? But it could happen. It could potentially happen in cost-cutting measures to, recoup their funds. That's what you're seeing with Xbox. Because Xbox bought Activision, they're like, we're not making enough money from this. We're going to ramp up the prices of Game Pass so we can try and make our money back from this acquisition as fast as possible. It's usually the big wigs, the top dollar at these companies who come up with these strategies. So with WB going across, potentially being sold, that has put people in, speculation station of what's going to happen with AEW. AEW, to sort of answer the question in this video, I think AEW is going to be fine. And I'll tell you why I think AEW is going to be completely fine. Because, first of all, we can look at the potential buyers. Now, it's been rumoured for a long time that Paramount are sort of the key players looking to buy Warner Brothers. I think of all the places to go, I think Paramount is probably the least damaging because they don't have tons of IP. They have some. They have, like, I know they've got Terrifier. They've got, I'm trying to think. I always get confused between Paramount and Universal. They've got Mission Impossible. They have some IPs that they like. They have all the, oh God, I can't remember the guy's name. I'm going to put his name above my face. He does, like, The Lioness and all these shows on Paramount Plus. He's a big name, big draw for their streaming service. They're also getting UFC. I think in 2026, I think it is when the deal happens, they are getting the rights to UFC. UFC will be airing on Paramount Plus, which I think is a big move for UFC, because UFC has for years, particularly in America and also here in the UK, been behind a massive paywall. That is why it's been so difficult to watch. I think keeping up to UFC has been very, very difficult, because I believe in the US you have to pay for ESPN and then you have to pay on top of the subscription for the pay-per-views, kind of like what AEW does with Max, but it's more egregious. I've heard it's like so expensive, particularly when you get fights that last, 2 minutes or something like that. So that going over to Paramount Plus and getting it in your Paramount Plus subscription will be good. That is a good value for money. I don't think they're going to change much about UFC. If they purchase WB and they get AEW, I think we can see the same thing. I think they're just going to let Tony Khan have his creative vision. They're going to potentially put AEW on Paramount Plus, because the thing that people who are like, AEW is going to die, AEW is going to go away, the thing that they don't get is we are at the height of the streaming wars, and places, streaming services, are looking for ready-built audiences. They are looking for content with ready-built audiences. They don't want to take a gamble on an original show and then have to cancel it after a season. AEW has an inbuilt fan base that will probably come across to Paramount Plus if it was acquired by Paramount. They would just shuffle across and continue to watch on there. Any IP that has sort of ridiculous followings, they're going to be jumping at the chance to get on board with that, particularly one like AEW, which has been successful. They're getting hundreds of thousands of pay-per-view buys. They are getting good viewers on Max and on TV. Like, they can say what they want about ratings, but TV as a whole, live TV as a whole, is dying anyway. So the more viewers they can streamline to their service and the more viewers they can get actually watching would be good, because stuff that gets watched now is like repeats of The Big Bang Theory. What was the last show that aired like on TV, not on like Max or anything like that really had the world talking? You don't really have that, but live entertainment, AEW has that. AEW has the live entertainment that you can't miss and want to watch on a regular basis. That is what streamers are looking for, and that's sort of the point of this, is that AEW is going to be fine. And you have to just look at TNA. TNA has been through the ringer. They have faced everything. They are like the cockroaches that are surviving the nuclear holocaust right now, because they are just surviving. They didn't have a TV deal for a while. They survived. AEW has an inbuilt audience. It has stars. You've got like John Moxley. You've got Adam Copeland. You've got these stars who they can push forward and be like, let's continue with this. They're getting decent numbers. And I don't think this acquisition or sale is going to hurt them in the long run whatsoever. Now, I could be wrong. They could, Paramount might want nothing to do with pro wrestling. They might want absolutely nothing to do with Tony Khan, and they might be like, you know what? We'll pay out the rest of your deal. Go find another home. But I think that's incredibly unlikely. Paramount Plus had the Halo show, which by all accounts was ass. So I'm pretty sure they would want to continue doing this as a venture, as a streaming service to air AEW. Like, it's not going away. People who think AEW is going away because of this, you are wrong. You are wrong. It's not going to happen. And you can look at the other IPs that WB will carry across. No one's saying Superman's going to go away. No one's saying that, they're going to cancel James Gunn's plan because the sale has gone through. No one's going to say they're cancelling the Batman or anything like that. Like, all these IPs are probably safe and probably going to carry across. It's just going to be that initial time after the sale, whenever the sale eventually happens, and it goes through all the litigation and it goes through, the anti-monopoly stuff, when that's all gone through, there are usually cost-cutting measures because they have to recoup the funds that they've spent. But I think AEW will be fine. I think AEW will be fine going forward. They are here to stay. Tony Khan is very committed to it. So, yeah, I think all of this hoo-ha and fear-mongering is just bad faith. It's bad faith, and it's not really getting across, the industry, the film and television industry that well, because they're not just going to cancel something that's getting good views. Why would any company do that? That would be ridiculous. I think the other buy was Netflix, which we can go into. I suppose we can go into a little bit now. I think that would be a huge mistake if Netflix end up buying Warner Brothers, because I don't want to be streaming Superman on Netflix. I want my cinema releases, people. I want actual cinema releases, because Netflix don't do that. And I think maybe if it was bought by Netflix, they'd come across some deal with WWE. But again, I don't think that would affect anything. They're not gonna. They could just stick it on streaming service. It doesn't matter if it's on the same streaming service as WWE. It doesn't make. If it does, then I think if anything, it will be WWE pulling out. It won't be sort of AEW who are pulling out of this. I think WWE will be like, no, we don't want anything to do with whatever's on the streaming service, because they're petty like that. And I just believe that AEW is going to survive. It's going to survive going forward. They've got events, they're literally advertising an event for August of next year. They've got plans in place, So, yeah, I'm fully confident that AEW will survive this, and all of the bad faith AEW's going away. It's just fear-mongering. It's just fear-mongering, and they're doing it to get clicks. Maybe I did that with this thumbnail. There's always a chance. Did you click on this hoping I was going to rag on AEW? If you did, let me know in the comments. And let's see if you're bad faith. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. How do you think this is going to go? Did you like my discussion of the business? Let me know everything you want, and I'll try to reply to every single one of them. Thank you all ever so much for your support, and have a nice day.